That said, 1 year after students began learning from home due to the pandemic, hundreds of thousands of kids in our state are getting ready to return to classrooms in the next few weeks. It follows a proclamation signed by Governor Inslee calling for all elementary school students to get some in-person learning starting a week from today, with middle schoolers and high schoolers returning to the classroom at least part-time by April 19th. Comes with a whole lot of questions, so we wanted to go right to the top, as in the state's top educator, the state superintendent of public instruction, Chris Reykdal. Mr. Superintendent, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Matt. David, good to see you.
Good to be with you. Many parents have been waiting for this. I read as of March 8th, 55% of elementary school students in our state, 38% of middle schoolers, and 34% of high schoolers were learning in person at least once a week. So if you think about where we're headed, this is a big step to bring back the rest of them at least part-time. Help us understand the transition. What has been the biggest challenge in bringing students back into the classroom?
Yeah, it's really an exciting time. So our numbers are even in excess of that now, which is really exciting. And obviously in the next week or two, it's going to take off pretty aggressively here. The biggest challenge is that for some families, this worked really well and they've gotten into a good routine, and others have struggled, significantly from an academic or a social emotional standpoint. So remote learning for a lot of families has been a very different experience. So for them, part of it is, do I want to finish my year out in person, or at least in part, or do I want to stay with what I have? So for districts, they're about ready to balance both of those. How do they maintain remote learning for those who want it? How do they open their doors to families who make a different choice?
Yeah, speaking to both audiences, the governor just came out last week and said K through 12 schools could reduce the physical distance between students from 6 feet down to 3 feet, meaning we can get more kids into classes at one time. But the ultimate decision on that distancing is really up to districts. They can keep it at 6 feet if they want. So here's my question. Why was that left up to districts?
Yeah, because the governor doesn't really force anything in terms of how school districts operate. He tells them their parameters. He gives them the guidance on what they can do. And pre-COVID, districts decided whether, they configured their classrooms with 35 students or 20, whether they had remote options. These really are important local decisions. He also knew, quite frankly, that there are counties in significantly higher numbers right now of cases per 100,000 versus others. So a bit of a blanket approach really wasn't going to work here. Lots of districts will go to this 3 foot, particularly for elementary school. And many of them, as you did in your intro, they're just now cranking up right now, getting their sort of stability under them at the 6 foot. And I wouldn't expect a lot in the Puget Sound to go beyond that 6 feet, especially since the guidance from the public health officials is in common areas, in the cafeterias and everywhere else, you still have to be at 6 feet. So it sounds awesome. It's just really complicated. And I think the bigger opportunity is to be at 3 feet or less this fall and get all of our kids back in buildings this fall.
Makes sense. One size does not fit all. Since students have started returning, have we seen any significant outbreaks of COVID-19 at schools?
We really haven't. Public health defines an outbreak as 2 or more. So everyone has this image of an outbreak as this big spread, but it's really 2 students who are unrelated. And so we've had some of those. But we've had districts open since September, October in parts of the rural areas of our state. And just when they follow those protocols, especially the face covering, they have incredible success. So thankfully, we have not seen outbreaks to date. We still do not believe that any school personnel have been hospitalized as a result of infection from schools. So kudos to our districts. They are following those health protocols. And when they do that, they can bring back students and staff very safely.
Superintendent, we only have about 20 seconds. I know that if parents do not feel comfortable sending their kids back into a classroom, kids can continue learning from home. How long do you anticipate that option will be available for parents? Could that be offered next school year as well?
I think so. I think districts are already working on strategies next year. Where again, 70–80% of folks will probably be very comfortable coming back, but our kids under age 16, they really won't be vaccinated for probably a year. There's still clinical trials going on. For a lot of families, that makes them nervous. So we know we got to create an option for those families. Districts are doing that right now. It is a hard thing to do when 80% are in person and 20% remote, but they're working on that right now. And I know they'll have either district strategies or regional strategies to address that.
And it is a challenging time to be working in education. Chris Reykdal, Washington Superintendent of Public Instruction, thank you so much for making the time for us.